Hey guys, Ted Bogert with the TED Show. We're back. I must say, I'm very excited to have this wonderful performer on the show today, this artist. Let's see if I can do it right. Are you ready? Celiane The Voice. Welcome to the
You did it.
show.
Thank you. Thank you. I
You
appreciate
did
it.
it.
Glad to be here.
I'm so excited. So I can't exactly remember who connected us, but I remember when I saw the first picture or the first link, and I thought, oh, come on the show. We have to know all about you. So let's start with the origin story, though. Let's get there before we get to the performance. Let's talk about your beginnings. So welcome.
Okay. Thank you. So Celiane kind of evolved as a comic book character. I love comic books. I love video games. I love anime. And so there's two parts to her. So she's a techno-human. I refuse to say cyborg because cyborgs stay static in their technology. Celiane doesn't. So Celiane evolves in her technology. So you see me with a lot of armor. The next time you may see me, if you see me on stage or something, you'll see me with a different piece of technology. You'll see me looking different. I evolve different ways, and I de-evolve depending on kind of what's going on in society and what's going on with Celiane. So if you can't tell, Celiane's kind of a Gemini. So she kind of goes in and out. So her origin story is she comes from a time that's in the future, as what has happened to the earth and what's going on with humanity. And she's come back with a mission to let humanity know what they need to do to get it together. And so she has melded with a human form, unbeknownst to the human form, and then they melded together. And this is what happened. And we are crude technology, let me tell you, okay? Because
Where'd you come up with the origin story for that? That is creativity at its best. Have you always been a creative person? Have you always been interested? I just love the combination of what you're doing.
Thank you. Yeah, I've always been creative. When I created my genre and I started singing, I started with opera basically when I was younger, and I kept flip flopping because I'm like, what young person listens to opera? I started singing that at 17, and I said, I want to sing other stuff, but every time I would go in and work with people, can you change your voice? Can you sing differently? And I'm like, no, that's kind of how my voice is. So I said, okay, I need something that spreads a message, and I need something that'll grab people, and I need something that's me. And so I came up with Celiane The Voice. That's what happened.
I love it. Do you have? I love it because did you mention cosplay before? You mentioned
yes.
Okay, so because I know what it is because I've had a lot of cosplay people on the show. But tell people, what does cosplay even mean? Because I think it's confusing if you don't know what that artistic genre is.
Yes. So cosplay is when you dress up as another character, and you're supposed to embody that character and who they are. Some cosplayers do, some cosplayers don't. Most cosplayers make their own costumes. I see them. As far as me making them, maybe, but but a cosplayer, that's their lifestyle. They love taking on these characters and the outfits and the weapon. Oh, I love the weapons. And it's amazing, and it's amazing what people come up with. I'm in awe. I really am.
Well, you have such an interesting comment. I'm glad you told me that you don't identify as cyborg. You don't like that terminology. I love your reason why, because that just shows me that you have you are creative in who your presence is, which is really cool. All right, so there's one thing to have cosplay. There's another thing to be a performer. Talk about your music. Talk about where did that come from? Have you always been musically inclined? Have you always been performance inclined?
Yes, I have. That doesn't mean that, you grow up and you have parents and they're like, okay, you're going to do something real with your life. And I'm like, but I sing. That's what I love to do. And they're like, yeah, you're not going to do anything with that. And then And then I end up being a music teacher. And I'm like, I did do something with it, you know. So I created my own genre, electronica hip opera. You'll see either the H on the opera or the hip opera. But I created it for my voice. My voice is different, and it's one of those type when I would sing, whether opera, Broadway, whatever. People were kind of stuck at the end, and I'm like, okay, did I do a good job? Did I mess up? What? I don't understand. The feedback is never really immediate. So then I said, well, you know what? We're gonna run with that then. I mean, if they can't, the voice is kind of like, okay, I'm feeling it. Then I'm like, well, let's give a visual to go with that. So so I put a visual to it. And I've always been creative though, whether it's, I won't say sewing, but I'll say crafts, or drawings, or yeah, I'm a total creative person. And so
You definitely have the creative spirit. Bettina Devon, hi Bettina, says electronica hip opera. She's got a big exclamation point. I mean, that is, so explain how you came up with that though, because you are combining some very interesting, different, people would think completely different musical genres into one. So how did you come up with that as your sound?
so as I said, I started singing opera when I was 17. I've been in church choirs, singing different languages, and things like that, which I haven't put out a song in a different language yet. That's coming. Oh, it's coming. And so I got bored, basically. And so I'm like, I got to do something. So then when electronic music and EDM music started coming on the scene, I was like, ooh, what is that? And I would listen to the singer singing it. And I said, okay, opera singer, electronic music. I need strings. I love dubstep. Dubstep is the one thing in that grungy metal sound. Love that. So I'm like, okay, I gotta have my music has got to be edgy for me, to keep with it and to sing with it. It's gotta flow in that. So I try to always put some type of operatic element in my songs, and that's usually the string section. I always try to have dubstep or some edgy sound, and then the hip hop beat is there, but it's not the main focus of it. It's just, my culture is drums. It's that movement to the drum beat. That's the heartbeat. And so I have to have that. And because that's me. So all these elements, again, I told you Gemini. So, so all these elements are me. They're literally me. And I listen to make sure it's the right combination, it's the right feel, flow. And there you go.
I love it. So do you create, like, when you perform, remember, I only have $1.75 research and development budget. So I don't get to research everything. When you perform, are you, well, I want to hear it, but let's talk about the writing process a little bit before
Yes.
you do that. How do you figure out how to be electronica and hip hop and opera and put that all into one musical experience? Do you write the music? Do you collaborate? How's that process?
Both. So the first songs that I have, Why Can't You and Systematic, I wrote, and I was basically a beat maker. I cannot figure out all that stuff in a DAW. So I had to take it that is way too complicated for me. So I had to take it to a producer, and I said, do your magic. This is what I want. This is the basis of the song. Do your magic. So the songs that have come out so far, I'm the one that's created them, and then someone else has put their magic on them. I don't even think about electronica hip hop, because when I first started, meaning when I write them, because when I first started the songs, Why Can't You was an R&B song, but I knew it was so beautiful. I'm like, I'm not letting this go. And he was like, that's an R&B sounding song. Okay, well, put my elements in it. That's basically what I said. But when I brought Systematic, he was like, okay, that's more the sound that you're looking for. Let's do that. But he thought it was simple at first. And then as he was delving into it, he was like, this is not simple. And so, and then for one song, I'm gonna tell you, there's one song that really shaped it for me. And I'm a huge Ghost in the Shell fan. I mean, huge. Now, don't you ask me no questions, because don't do that. But but if you ask me about the music, because I'm a deep music person. So when I heard In a Universe, that was it. I fell in love. That's what made me fall in love with Ghost in the Shell. That song, that and the Japanese chorus. And that was what really shaped my genre, is that one song. And I said, I'm going to sing that song one day. I'm going to perform that song, period. And so, and actually that song I have, and that's going to come out in September. But that kind of shaped.
Fantastic.
Yes, I'm super excited about that.
Congratulations.
So, thank you, thank you, thank you.
You're
Yeah.
really moving and shaking. Talk about the business, because we have a lot of performance artists come on the show, and it just, there's so much amazing talent like you out there. How do you differentiate? Well, you obviously differentiate yourself. How do you, but how do you get your form of music to people? It's a different world than when I grew up and we had 45s and
Right,
singles. They were like record players.
right.
Nowadays, you really do have to promote yourself. This isn't just you releasing amazing music or amazing anything. It's that you also have to do the promotion of how amazing
Yes,
you are.
yes. That is the hard work, and that's the hard part. I'm one of those type of people. I have the $1 million ideas. Man, I could sell an idea to anybody. As far as getting me to execute, well, no, that's not my strong suit. So, and what I mean is, I had to do branding. I had to read books. I had to talk to people. And eventually, I really just had to go out and get a PR person and get people to help me. My course is a little different. If you Google me, I'm all over the place, but my social following is not as high as it should be. So that's a little crazy to me because it's supposed to be the reverse, and I'm the opposite. But what I would suggest, research and read. On top of that, research and read to know how it's
Right.
done. It is mathematics. It is algorithms. Um, and I'm like, I'm gonna get people that know how to do that.
Well, you know, the first thing that you notice, though, what I love is that one of the first things you notice, obviously, I'm immediately engaged because how you're in character. I don't know if that's the word you use, how you're in your persona. And so right away, I'm already intrigued. And I've also been intrigued by people before, and then they perform, and I'm like, oh, day job would be good for you. I think you need to really. Um, I think it's. I feel like no, you can't go to Hollywood. But I feel like there's a passion. So you've got all of those things together in what you do, but you're also trying to promote a genre that people just don't. People, when you add hip hop, I think people get
Right.
electronica. I think people get. You add opera to it, and that's where I think people feel intimidated by anything that's got opera, but understand it. And so much of opera is in Italian or other
Yes.
languages, and so
Yes.
it's an interesting combination for you. But I think people immediately, oh my God, I gotta know what she's performing.
You know, I'm gonna tell you, I got tired. Like every time I would sing something, and I'd sing a pop song or something, and I come down from karaoke, or I stop. You're an opera singer, huh? I'm like, how do you know? And so I'm like, I'm gonna make it work for me. Forget it. I'm gonna make it work for me. I
Right.
can't escape it. I can't get away from it. That's what it is. That's what I'm going to do. And so, like I said, I just put the elements in it, and it is different. I remember, in the '90s, they tried to bring opera back by putting beat to it, but it wasn't the same. You know what I mean? It wasn't. It didn't really do that. I take it a step further with my opera roots. As to my shows, are kind of like rock operas. They're not your typical shows. It tells a story. It has peaks and valleys. It has things that you look at. Um, and so it's an experience. And so, as my EPK says, I'm an experience and I'm a wildfire and I'm different. Oh, yes. Absolutely.
I actually am going to introduce you. I serve on the board for a local Opera del Sol is the name of the company, and
Okay.
their entire the hashtag is making opera. And so I think you would be a phenomenal that would be a
Oh,
phenomenal connection, because I what they do is uh, they are trying to express themselves themselves through they kind of combine it. They don't do
Awesome.
this though. So I want to get to this though because I want tell me what you're going to perform for us and maybe give us a little background on it.
Okay. So I'm gonna be performing my latest release, Systematic. And Systematic actually was thought of 5 years ago. And it took this long for me to get there because of the words. The words weren't ready. I created the music long before I put the words to it. And when this whole shutdown hit, it fit. What I do is I try to inspire people, and the message is love. Period. Point blank. That's what it is. And so when this happened, and people were feeling down, I said, it's time for Systematic. It's time for Systematic to come out. And so Systematic is about being you and not letting people program you, not letting people tell you what you have to be. And what I mean by programming can be simple. I'm not going to talk about systematic stuff, but I'm talking about, oh, you're ugly, you're fat, you can't do that. Those are programs. Those are monkey mind.
Right.
And that's a no-no. We do that enough to ourselves than to have people, and so it's an anthem. Systematic is an anthem. It's a different type of anthem, granted, but it's an anthem for people to listen to, kind of close their eyes, and so that they know not only do I feel you, but you have a way out, and that's you. That's loving you and being who you are, true to you. And if they can't take it, the hell with them. I don't like. I'm sorry. I keep it real. Forget it. That you have your own course. And what people don't understand is we have our own perception. Our lives are the way they are based on our perception of ourselves. Someone else's perception is different. Doesn't mean it's the truth. It means it's perception. So live
Right.
your perception. That's what's true. Know what I mean? You're not harming yourself or harming
I
somebody
love
else,
it.
baby. Do you? Do you? So that's what Systemac's about.
All right. So we're going to focus on you. I'm going to move. Uh, People are tired of looking at my ugly mug. We're going to look at your beautiful mug. Celiane The Voice, perform for us. All right.
All right.
All you.
We are the hope living today. Love in our heart. Come set us free. Closed doors, hold all the time. Doubt sets in, I can't win. Hear the programs of the night. Do what you're told and you'll be just fine. Chains and love, feeling too tight. This isn't real, nothing feels right. All my life spent in this way. All this time of grace, leaving your dream, fight for your will, shatter the lie, free your mind still. Destroy you, illusion, fate, again, until now we can say goodbye. Free yourself, control, free your mind, free yourself. You do forgive. there's anyone that's been pushed down, feel like that they can't make it, they're not okay, this next part's for you. I am here and I am wise. I am fire in the skies. I am smart and I am strong. I create all day long. I'm you and I'm alive. Always loving. I serve. I am grateful. I am light. I'm awake. I'm the night. I'm a blessing. I'm a gift. I'm creation. I am loving. I'm the love inside of. I am.
Nice. Woo! We got most of it, but
Okay. Yes, I
I
know.
love I love your voice. First of all, wow,
Oh,
you do
thank
have
you.
talent. That's, sometimes when people come on and they say they sing opera, I'm like, is it Bugs Bunny opera? Because please, please don't come on the show and sing like Bugs Bunny opera. But your voice is so clear, and it's beautiful, absolutely
Thank you.
beautiful. So I
Thank
love
you.
that. I love that song. I love what's behind it. I love that you empowered and you put so much together. Like there's spoken word poetry in there, and the technology side. I love how you put the head movements and the body movements into the performance. Do you get up on stage and sing the song and have, so we only get to see this part of you right here,
Right.
your
Right.
whole body moves.
Yes. My whole body, because like see, it's a whole piece. When I'm performing, I go in between robotic movements and human movements because I'm both. I'm the techno-human. So there are times there's a struggle between what the machine wants to do and what the human wants to do. And I show that in the performance. And they'll be like, what? Where did I get it? But the thing is, what they don't seem to understand is the struggle is the same thing. It's between consciousness and who we are. I'm
Right.
just showing it as something they can see. I'm a see person, I
Me too.
believe, but I'm a see person. So it's really showing them, oh, she got struggle too. She's real. She's real. She has a real thing going on, and I can relate to that. And when I performed this song for, it was an event, I had people come up to me and they're like, you get it, you get it.
Right.
And I was like, yes, that was it. I'm like, if they could take, I don't care if it was 5 people, 1 person, if you got it and you felt that from me, that was a win. That was a win.
I mean, isn't that what performance is about? I mean, yes, there's something intrinsic about you being able to express yourself, but the action it just feeds your soul. Feeds your passion. It feeds, I believe, the performance. One of the reasons why I like to do live is because I get an immediate reaction live, even in this platform. And people can engage, and there's something about having that audience there that kind of
Yeah.
fuels it, which is really cool
Yes.
for you.
Yes.
What's
Yes.
next for launching? You're releasing your song in September.
Yes. Yes. And then when Vegas opens up, actually, I'll be performing in Vegas. So I'm super excited. Making strides for that. In September, I can't say the company, but I'll be performing for a 10-year anniversary performance and a live stream in September also. So I'm excited about that. And then I'm doing my own thing. So I'm making my comic book, my graphic novel based on Celiane The Voice. making my animated comics as my content and thing like that. And then my backstory, be acting out my backstory in all my glory and stuff. And so just keep pushing forward and trying to, collaborate with producers and things like that and move it forward. Next mini album, I want to take a little gothic feel, a little bit, still my stuff, but just a little darker feel, a little bit, because every story has to have a dip somewhere. So Celiane has to have a fall, and then she has to come out of it. So that kind of thing. So yeah, good stuff.
I love the whole performance though, because you said it earlier, and I think a lot of performers miss this. It's about the experience for the audience, and it's about how when they leave your performance, there's a certain way that I know you want them to leave feeling, and if they feel impacted in any way, it's such a good
Yes.
feeling from your performance side. And I think that's what you do. So I love it. All right. So how do people reach out to you? What's the best way? I think I have your website down there.
Yes.
Okay, good. So is that the best way for them to reach you, to learn more, to engage with you, to get your music? Is that the best way for them to do it?
For the music and seeing what's going on with me, www.celianethevoice.com is one of the best ways. Instagram, Celiane Voice, Twitter, Celiane The Voice, Facebook, Weapon of Mass, it's Celiane WML, because I'm a weapon of mass love. That's what I call myself. And my
I
music
love
is on
that.
all the thank you. My music is on all the platforms, and then I have a Bandcamp, Celiane The Voice, also. And then they can find out more, get the lyrics and things like that.
You're a joy. That was
Thank
really
you.
awesome.
Thank
So
you.
talented. I'd love for you to come back on when you want to release your
Absolutely.
next thing. And the performance was awesome. Thank you so
Thank
much for
you.
taking a risk and coming on our show. I'm super excited for you and your launch in September. Your single coming out, which is really
Thank
cool.
you. Thank
All
you
right.
so much.
CelianeTheVoice.com. We got it down there scrolling. You guys reach out to her, support her, support her music, her talent. It's definitely unique and it's cool. So thank you for coming on. I appreciate you.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. All right. God bless. We'll see you guys soon. We'll be back soon, and we're going to have Celiane back when she's ready. All right, guys. Have a good